Hi, my name is Tammy Colon and I am from Pasito School in San Jose, California. In this video today, I wanted to talk about media in early childhood and the use of media in early childhood. First, I want to start by screen time. The American Academy of Pediatrics recommends no screen time before the age of 2. That can be really hard as a parent with your phone in your pocket, in restaurants, when you're waiting in line at the bank, not to give in to the temptation to give your phone to your child because it's so easy and so convenient. And we know from the American Academy of Pediatrics that they don't want screen time. Why don't they want screen time? Because it changes the formation of the brain, and when children are interacting with media, when children are interacting with screens, they're not interacting with people. They're not interacting with you. We know that in order to build language, in order to build relationships, in order to build trust, in order to build attachment, we need children to be interacting with loving and caring adults. So that's really the big reason why we don't want media, too much media, in early childhood. As children continue to grow, there is a time and a place for media. A great way to learn language, it is passive, is by watching TV and movies in the target language. Sesame Street, Plaza Sésamo, has been recorded, I think it's in something like over 30 different languages to be shown all over the world. Because it works. Sesame Street works. There's been so much research done on it. I'm a Sesame Street kid born and raised in the 70s. That's when it started, and that's when the research really started to be showing that the media, it can help. And it works when children have nothing better to do. We know the best example, of course, is interaction with other people and talking with other adults. And we cannot be interacting with a 3-year-old 24/7. That's exhausting. And sometimes we still have to make dinner, and we have to do the laundry, and we have to sweep the floors, and we have to change the sheets on the bed. And Sesame Street, Plaza Sésamo works. Lots of other TV shows and movies can do the same thing. The question then becomes, how do you choose those shows? How do you know what is appropriate for your child at different ages? And it can be hard. Yet Sesame Street works. Sesame Street is great for young children. And there comes a time when your child will say, I don't want to watch this, it's so boring, when they get done with it. So if you are done watching Sesame Street, how do you choose? There are all the Disney movies, many of the Disney movies, they do have an audio language option, so you can switch it to Spanish, to whatever the target language is. I've noticed a lot of videos, they're in English, they're also in Spanish, they have French, and they'll have a couple of other languages as well. And if you're not really into Disney, how do you choose? A great place I like to visit is commonsensemedia.org. They are my foundation. I go to them regularly. My children still, at the time of this recording, are 7 and 9. I still use this website. When my children were 3 and 4, for their first movies, trying to decide what those first movies would be, I went to commonsensemedia.org. Why do you want to go to commonsensemedia.org? Because it takes out the guesswork. It just makes it a lot easier. Today, the day of this recording, it's the day after the Grammys. We were watching the Grammys last night on TV. J-Lo put on an awesome rockin' performance, and a commercial came on for lots of commercials. Whatever, we watch them, we move on. I'll talk about them sometimes with the kids, about what they're trying to sell. And then it was a commercial for a scary movie. And I was watching it, and it took me a minute to realize, oh my goodness, this is a scary movie. This is a really scary commercial. This is really freaky. Oh my goodness, my children are watching it with me. This is gonna freak them out. This is gonna give them nightmares. And my children are 7 and 9. Maybe you watched the Grammys, maybe you watched them with your children, maybe you didn't. I mean, we can go back to last weekend. How many of you had your children in the room while you were trying to watch the Super Bowl? I say tried because with a 3 and 4-year-old, I wasn't really ever really able to watch a Super Bowl, but I had it on, and the Super Bowl has a lot of funny commercials. There's always some inappropriate commercials on there as well that I don't want my 3-year-old seeing. I don't want a 4-year-old to see. I don't want a 5-year-old to see because it's confusing. So what I did when we were watching the Grammys, I just got up when I realized it was scary. I turned off the TV. My kids freaked out. They asked me, "What are you doing? Why are you turning it off?" My husband knew. He knew what I was doing. I just counted to like 30. Enough time for the commercial to end, and then I turned the movie back on so we can finish watching the Grammys, or before we sent the kids to bed. Common Sense Media can help us to determine what types of movies and shows are age appropriate for our children. It helps to break it down. Being an early childhood educator, when children don't understand what they watch on the screen, they act it out and they try to figure it out through play. I know your preschool teachers of your children, they know when you let your child watch Spider-Man. Go check out on commonsensemedia.org. The age for Spider-Man is not preschool age children. Check out commonsensemedia.org for the age for Star Wars. I love Star Wars. My husband and I, we had many long conversations and debates about the appropriate age for our children to watch Star Wars. He thought 4. 4 is good. We can watch Star Wars as a family at the age of 4. I said no. I went to commonsensemedia.org. I was able to show my husband we are not watching Star Wars because it does have a lot of violence. And it's great. I love the movie. I grew up on that movie. And for children, it's confusing. Children cannot separate what's real from what's false. They can't make that distinction that it's only happening for pretend. It's only happening in the movie. It's not real life. When they see guns and weapons and lasers kill people, and when they see Darth Vader with his lightsaber fighting with Luke Skywalker, it's confusing and it's traumatizing to children. So children then come to school the next day and they begin acting it out, being with their spider webs, with their spider hands, because they don't understand that it's fake. They do know on a real level, they know that people can't really be shooting spider webs out of their fingers. They know that, but they can't internalize it and they can't understand it. They can't process it. So it's hard being a parent, managing media and our own media needs with the media needs of our children. So what do? Make it easier for yourself. Visit commonsensemedia.org. It tells you, I love it because it tells you how many positive messages and what the positive messages are that the TV shows or video games or books or movies, it's all sorts of media. They rate all kinds of media. It tells you what types of positive messages they send. It tells you how much violence or inappropriate language is being used in the book or the movie or the TV show or the video games. Children should not be playing video games where they're robbing banks or they're carjacking cars. It might be fun, but we shouldn't be allowing our preschool age children to do that. So I encourage you to visit commonsensemedia.org. Visit them, save the website regularly for the rest of your life with your children. There's videos that I know I'm waiting until my children are 10 and 11 and 12 because I really want to watch these movies with my children. And I want to be respectful of where they are in their developmental process and what their needs are so I don't traumatize them. Thank you for watching this video today. Be sure to subscribe below. I invite you to leave your questions or comments below. Have a great day. Ciao.